This is my next video. Let me turn this off so you guys can hear my soft voice that, don't know. I just have a soft voice. But what's up, you guys? I'm back with a new video. New everything. I decided to talk to you guys just for a little bit while I get ready for work on this beautiful snowing Friday. I'm kind of hoping that they close my job, but I don't see that happening. People need to buy stuff, and so yeah. So I'm just gonna talk to you guys just for a little bit. I figured when I get off of work tonight, I'll upload a longer video and just want to get a brief synopsis on therapy, and why I chose to go to therapy. Therapy is a wonderful and necessary thing that any person who feels like they need to talk to someone should try. Don't knock my palette. It's old. It's the Urban Decay electric palette. It's a beautiful palette. The colors are magnificent, and I really haven't bought anything else because I'm lazy in that area. But it's probably because I'm the type of person that if I like something, I stick with it. But anyways, I decided to go to therapy because there's a lot of things in my life that I needed to let go and release. And I was fed up with it. When you're fed up with something holding you back and hindering you, you are ready to let it go. And so that's what I was on, and I'm still on that, is the release factor of letting it go and being able to just talk about it, and without, like my very first video, be a bumbling, crying person who can't get her words right. So the first day I went to therapy, the first thing they asked me, because I actually went to my doctor and told her, I was ready to go to therapy. One of the things that I've learned, that if the Most High looks at you and gives you a nudge in a certain direction and nudges you in that direction, that's a direction you need to go, and you need to stop putting it off and just do it. I tried it like 2 years ago. I had this wonderful life coach, but I couldn't afford to keep her because, people need to pay their bills, so I couldn't afford to keep her, but she was amazing. And if I could have kept her, I would have. Nicole Salas, you are a totally amazing person. She has this amazing design her life. Like, that helped me out so much those 2 years, and it still helps me out. Like, it's just wonderful. I'll talk about that in the next video, but I wanted to start off with this video because I felt like it was necessary. So the one thing my doctor asked was, did you want a male or a female? And for some reason, I said male. I wanted a male doctor. I don't know why. I just did. Probably because the way my attitude is and who I am as a person and how I'm set up, which I will explain to you later. But yeah. Oh shoot. Why did I do that? It was looking so good. I completely no. Okay. But I wanted a male doctor. And I think she was more in shock that I said I wanted a male doctor, because for some reason that's who I wanted. And so, I finally had the means to go. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go. I'm going to just say, you know what, I'm going. And so I was afraid to go at first because I was like, you know what, I don't know if this is going to work. You know, people who've known me for a long time know I can be a very private person, especially when it has to do with things that I don't really want to talk about. I will not talk about it. I will completely shut down and not care. If you wanted me to talk about it, I just won't do it. So the first day I went, I was extremely nervous, you know, because I'm like, okay, this is someone who does not know me, and I have to sit here and tell him my business, pretty much. A lot of times, I don't like the way that looks. There we go. A lot of times, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ready for work and I'm talking to you guys. A lot of times, that's how we, the socialization agents in our lives, if you don't know what a socialization agent, that is the person that you first meet in your life, which would be your parents, your church, your community, your peers, the people around you. So I've always been told to be private, keep your private life private, don't say anything, don't say nothing, keep it to yourself. Not realizing there are certain things in life that are not worthy keeping to ourselves because we need to speak up on those things. And another thing was that I felt like, you know, am I going to be this person that I was in my very first video that was just this blabbering person who could not get her words out. Before all of this, I was the type of person that I could sit there and tell you all day. I could write down how I felt, but I couldn't express it because it just wouldn't come out right. So those 2 years when I was in school, I had to learn to slow down my mind, slow down my brain, because my brain runs 1,000 miles a minute all the time because I'm constantly thinking. So I had to learn to slow down my brain, slow down my thought process, so the words would come out effectively, like I knew exactly what I was talking about. Not like the first person in the very first video who just had all these things to say and couldn't get it out right because she just wanted to share so much. So my dog done closed the doggone door to my room. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so hold on one second. Why'd you close the door? You always closing the doggone door like you a human. Anyways, so like I said before, I've always, you know, been able to write down what I could say, but I could never actually express it. So the very first day, my very first therapy session, he comes to me and he sits down and he says, "Who are you? Tell me about yourself." So I start talking and I'm telling him. He goes, "Why are you here?" So I explained to him why I was there. And if you have not watched the first video, please go and watch the very first video, because that is one of the reasons why I was there. I wanted to release that and get that off of me, because at the end of the day, I've always felt responsible, even though I shouldn't have. He said, he looks at me and he goes, after I tell him all of these things, you know, and I'm explaining to him the situation, and he goes, "You know, you are the victim." I hate that word victim because I'm not a victim anymore. I am so empowered by it. It's ridiculous. But you were abused. And I sat there and I thought about it for a minute, because abuse comes in a lot of different situations and in a lot of different forms. You know, I'm used to the physical abuse that I've seen with a family member going through, and I've seen physical abuse within my family, not my parents, but other members of my family. I've actually seen it personally, you know, and I'm like, I never seen and put myself situation as being you know, being abused. He was like, no, you were abuse of manipulation, a power abuse. You know, someone in power and authority figure in your life abused you and used you in a way that benefited them. And then I'm sitting back and I'm like, really? Me? You wouldn't? No. He was like, yes, you're in a denial of something like that. Then it's like you finally accept it and be like, wow, that's deep. I mean, it's not a laughing matter. I can laugh about it now, but it's like, that's deep. That's seriously deep, you know? And another thing I talked to him about was the fact that I never had a chance to choose. What I mean by that is everything in my life has been chosen for me. Where to go to school, where to eat, where to sleep, where to sit, how to think, how to act. Anytime I wanted to be myself, I had someone in my family telling me to stop. That is not how you should be. Or, you know, the power struggles in my family was always real, and it still is to this day. And I laugh about it because it's like, why are we still doing this? But every time I would try to break out and become myself, there was always someone around me trying to push me back, you know. So he was like, he looked at me and he goes, so you never had a chance to really think for yourself? And I'm like, no. Every time I would try to think freely, there would always be someone telling me why that was wrong. And he was like, no, that's not it. You shouldn't feel that way. And I'm like, wow, that's cool too. Yeah, I'm looking at my eyebrows if y'all haven't noticed, because, you know, those things is just, he was like, what I want you to do, he was like, we're going to start making sure you can think freely for yourself. He was like, someone who has not had a chance to think freely for themselves, you know, he was like, we're going to make sure by the end of this therapy session, by the end of your therapy, you're going to be able to be you. He's like, I want you to be you. You've never had a chance to actually find out who you are. And I'm like, it's sad that, well, I'll be 38 next month. Yes. Hey, I'll be 38 next month. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just happy. Always happy when I turn a year older. I'm sorry. That's just me. I don't care. So, because truthfully, you don't have to. You really don't. It's grace that gives you that, you know. It really is. But he was like, by the end of these therapy sessions, I want you to be you. He was like, there's no reason. He was like, it's upsetting because I know you didn't get a chance to actually be you. You never had a chance to do these things. But I want you, by the end of this therapy session, to be you. And I'm like, wow. Okay. See how this goes. He was like, I was like, yeah. And another thing is I'm a people pleaser. Like, I learned all these things in therapy. We'll discuss that because I'm pretty sure I'm going to upload another video when I get home because it's just so much I want to share with you guys of how therapy is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful tool, and it also made me think about not only my life, but the family members in my life and how I'm trying to break generational curses, and that's all. I'm just saying. I'm trying to break generational curses, and hopefully some of the things I say can help you. I'm not trying to run your life, rule your life, or judge you. I'm just saying maybe some of the things that I say and some of the things that I've been through will help you think. That's all. I'm not trying to, well, I can't say that. I'm trying to win souls for the Most High, you know, because that's just me. But that's just how it is. But I'm trying to break generational curses. I'm trying to do all of these things because that's what I've been called to do. But, wow. That's awesome. But by the end of the therapy session, he said, I want you to be able to think for yourself, act for yourself, do for yourself, all of those things, you know. And there's a lot of things I want you to stop. But he did tell me to do one thing. Just like Nicole Salas told me. And I couldn't do it when she asked me to. But, like I said, 2 years changes a person. I could do it finally when he asked me. But I kept putting it off because I was in school and life was happening and I completely forgot about it. But, yeah. There's, you know, he told me, I want you to write down every positive and wonderful thing about yourself. So I'm going to see if I can find that list, because the list is, I have that list, and I'm going to see if I can find it, because it is a good thing to do. Like, every morning, write down something positive about yourself. And he looks at me and he goes, and I'm going to allow you, I'm not going to decide when's the next time I see you. This is the first time I want you to make this decision for yourself. Is I want you to decide when to see you the next time we meet. That was the best feeling ever. For someone who did not know me, was actually allowing me to make this decision. And I was like, okay, cool. So, I did it. Yeah. But, like I said before, I'm going to tell you about my therapy journey, the things that happened in there, the things that came up in there, the things that I realized, that came to realization about some of the stuff in my life. Yeah, so I'm asking you to please like and subscribe. I don't ever ask that, but I am now. So please like and subscribe, because I'm coming out with videos regularly now, and I am so happy about that. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.